On NBC Palm Springs at 5, Cathedral City considering a new ordinance to crack down on the smell of cannabis grows, disrupting nearby residents. We'll also head to Palm Springs, where a suicide prevention conference was held, highlighting how communities can respond following a suicide loss. And the district attorney's office deciding there will be no criminal charges in last year's Palm Springs Festival of Lights parade motorcycle crash. NBC Palm Springs at 5 o'clock starts right now.
Now, this is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Mester. Olivia will join us from Palm Desert in just a few moments, but first, tonight's top story. In 1 year alone, close to 50,000 people died by suicide nationwide. While many focus their efforts on prevention, some experts are focusing on postvention, referring to intervention after suicide death. Tiani Jadalang joins us live in studio tonight. She spoke with medical experts and shares the details. Tiani?
Mark, around 266 individuals commit suicide every year here in Riverside County. Those impacted by a dramatic loss also have increased risk for suicide themselves. Riverside County's Suicide Prevention Coalition is doing what they can to focus on postvention to reduce that number. Building hope and resilience. That's what experts with the Riverside County Suicide Prevention Coalition hope attendees get out of this year's Suicide Prevention Conference. This year's theme is postvention as prevention, and it speaks for itself.
The sooner we can engage with someone who's lost someone to suicide, then we can reduce any chances that they might choose suicide as an option.
The conference held at the Palm Springs Convention Center was filled with local law enforcement, members from nonprofit organizations, and more. Many of those attendees refreshing up on tools needed to navigate a situation so personal, a circumstance many are familiar with.
I did have a student who attempted suicide, and being a school resource officer, they're like our kids. We see them on a daily. We see them more than we see our own family. It affects us tremendously.
Diana Gutierrez says this creates opportunity to intervene with someone who has experienced a loss. And the work doesn't stop here to reduce the numbers seen county-wide. The Suicide Prevention Coalition offers trainings, trauma programs, a response team, and bereavement counseling to help navigate those affected by suicide.
They get called out 24/7, 365, and they can respond on scene to individuals who've experienced a loss. Law enforcement just needs to let them know. Additionally, they can respond within the days and weeks after a loss as well and go to someone's home, provide them with the resources.
For those learning how to help others dealing with suicide, the conference helps understand the different ways individuals deal with something so personal.
Just because it says suicide, don't be scared of it. You'll learn a lot from it, and it will just not save your life, it'll save someone else's life.
Over 500 individuals heard from a panel of individuals who lost a loved one to suicide. For help countywide, you can call the number you see at the bottom of your screen. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadalang, NBC Palm Springs.
Tiani, thank you. The Riverside County District Attorney's Office will not file criminal charges in last December's Festival of Lights parade crash in Palm Springs that injured at least 10 people. The crash involved Officer Ken Miranda, who lost control of his motorcycle while working the event. He performed an unapproved stunt before crashing into the crowd. The CHP investigated and turned findings over to the DA, but the case is now being handled as a civil matter, not a criminal one. An internal review found 4 officers performed stunts without training or permission. New Palm Springs police policies now limit event speeds and require a dedicated event supervisor. Officer Miranda remains on leave tonight. An attorney for a handful of victims confirming to NBC Palm Springs that their clients intend to sue the city. Riverside County Animal Services is expanding hours at its shelters starting today. New hours are 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's Tuesday through Friday, and weekends 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., giving the public more time to adopt or reclaim pets. Shelters are closed on Mondays. Officials say the change helps working families and boosts adoptions as shelters remain over capacity for dogs. Animal Services is offering free dog and cat adoptions through October 15th as part of the Bissell Pet Foundation's Empty the Shelters event. You can visit the website. We've listed it right there at the very bottom of your screen to find your new best friend. The debate over cannabis in Cathedral City is taking a new turn after hundreds of residents presented complaints about the odors. Now city leaders are looking to implement stricter rules on local businesses. Here's Alondra Campos.
That's right. For more than a year, residents of the outdoor resort Palm Springs community in Cathedral City say they have been living with a constant odor, and it's coming from next door. Now, a revised ordinance presented by the city could be the solution to this ongoing issue.
When we're out there on the golf course, it's like somebody right next to you has just fired up a joint.
That is how John Mullins describes living next to a cannabis business located on Ramon Road in Cathedral City.
Most of the time when I play golf, when I'm making the turn down around 7, 8, or 9, there's a big smell there.
For more than a year, residents of the outdoor resort Palm Springs community have presented hundreds of complaints about the odors carried over from Cat City Cannabis Co., the self-proclaimed largest indoor growing facility in California, measuring more than 300,000 square feet. Some of the residents, however, live only a few feet away from the facility, with only a wall separating them from the building.
Those that are near it and around it and have to smell it every day. The resort's doing what it can with the business owner, but the city has the ultimate say.
Now, the council unanimously approved a revised ordinance, one that tightens odor rules across all 59 licensed cannabis operations.
This is a measure really to ensure that there's a process to review the cannabis odor control equipment proposed by a business. This also will generate an annual inspection of those cannabis businesses by our code compliance staff.
City officials say they hope the stricter regulations will serve as a tool to hold non-compliant operators accountable.
So this ordinance is intended to be a balanced approach. We hear the residents. We understand that there are odors generated by cannabis businesses in the city. We also hear the industry. The industry is important to the city. There are many cannabis businesses in the city that produce many jobs.
Many business owners say they are already working to address the issue. In a written statement, the operators of Cat City Business Co. stated that they have already sponsored a pilot program for odor monitoring and reporting. They add that they have invested over $1 million in advanced odor mitigation and control systems. Still, residents say they won't be satisfied until the odor is gone and hope these efforts will bring some relief.
Their new enforcement rules hopefully will get them to do better filtration systems, have risers to get the smell off the ground or something.
The City Council will conduct a second reading of the ordinance on October 22nd, and if it passes, it will be enforced as of late November. For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Alondra Campos.
Our thanks to Alondra for that. Let's go check on the forecast. Live pictures tonight from our Agua Caliente casino camera, high above there in Rancho Mirage. Gorgeous start to this evening. Let's take a look at those current weather conditions at this hour. And there's the big picture as we look at the southwestern region of the United States. A little bit of showers to our north, but thankfully that stuff is clear of our area. As we look at our dew points right now, you can see what we're dealing with right now. But as you saw in that live image just a few moments ago, little cloud cover, nice clear blue skies. So we really enjoy this weather. Here's a look at the high temperatures for tomorrow. Just about perfect. Palm Springs, 90 degrees. Cabazon, 79. Desert Hot Springs at 85. La Quinta will tick up to 94 degrees. And then we have Thousand Palms at 91 degrees. There's a look right now at your Comfort Air 3-day forecast as we head towards the end part of this work week and into Saturday and Sunday. You got highs at 90 tomorrow, 93 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday. And look at those overnight lows, just perfect. 63, 67, and 66 on Sunday. We'll have your full 7-day forecast that's coming up in just a few moments.
NBC Palm Springs Sports with Tim O'Brien, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
The Coachella Valley Firebirds begin their preseason tonight. Let's go to Tim O'Brien, joining us live from the Toyota Performance Sports Center, which is in El Segundo in Los Angeles. Tim, how are things looking out there?
Yeah, hey, Mark, it is 1-0 Firebirds halfway through the second period, and a lot of back and forth action, a lot of young guys. In fact, most of the team on the roster today for the Firebirds might see most of their season in the ECHL with the Kansas City Mavericks, but is, of course, a good opportunity for head coach Derek Laxdal, his staff, and of course the VP of Hockey Operations, Troy Bodie, who's in attendance today to see their young guys. The 1-0 goal for the Firebirds off the stick of Caden Price, a defenseman who was highly touted. He's a Seattle Kraken draftee, so he looks to make the team this season out of camp. The Firebirds, of course, are pushing things in the rain zone at this moment in time. I'll step out of the way to get some of the action here onto the ice. It is getting a little chippy here in the second period, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out, but you know how that works. You're trying to make the hockey team. You want to show coach that you can do more than just score goals, right? You got to drop the gloves every now and then, but the Firebirds are out shooting the Reign 2-1 overall in the game, so a lot of good young talent. Firebirds analytically, according to head coach Derek Laxdal before the game, will be the youngest team in the American Hockey League. So they'll, of course, got to cut their teeth here. But look, at the end of the day, the Firebirds will compete in that Pacific Division. So 7 out of 10 of those teams make the playoffs. So you got to hope the Firebirds will be one of those 7. But we'll have more coverage, of course, coming up tonight from El Segundo here at 6 o'clock. Live at the Toyota Sports Performance Center, I'm Tim O'Brien. Mark, we'll send it back to you.
All right, our thanks to Tim for that. We'll hear from him coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. This year's Stagecoach tickets are now live on the festival's website. Passes went on sale at 11 o'clock this morning. Prices starting at $579 for 3-day general admission. Weekend headliners include Cody Johnson, Lainey Wilson, and Post Malone. Other acts performing include Counting Crows, Ella Langley, Little Big Town, Teddy Swims, Brooks and Dunn, Hootie and the Blowfish, and Third Eye Blind. And there will also be late-night appearances by Diplo, Pitbull, and Ludacris. Coming up next tonight, nonprofits compete in the Fast Pitch Contest tonight for a prize of $70,000. Our Olivia Sandusky will join us live after the break from that competition. Plus, Week 7 of high school football kicks off tonight with Coachella Valley playing Desert Mirage. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The air heavy, you can't breathe.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on development, committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 5.
The Wrap Foundation's Desert Fast Pitch is happening right now, with local nonprofits competing for a share of $70,000 in cash grants. Our Olivia Sandusky joins us live from UC Riverside's Palm Desert campus tonight with more on this big event. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Mark. The event officially gets started at 5:30 tonight here at UC Riverside, and it's really such an important night for our local nonprofits who really depend on grant funding to support their operations. So many different missions that they have here in the Coachella Valley, and we'll hear all of that tonight because there are 6 nonprofits who are competing in the finals. This is some video from last year's event. The 6 nonprofits this year are Friends of the Children, Coachella Valley, We Can Fish, Hark Incorporated, The Exception, Greater Palm Springs Tourism Foundation, and For Shay J Foundation. So tonight they're delivering pitches up on stage in front of a panel of judges. They'll have 3 minutes to communicate their message and why they deserve some grant funding to continue their operations. So it's really powerful to hear all the different causes and what everyone's been working on here in the Coachella Valley. These nonprofits have been through months of workshops and training to get to the point that they're at today. They narrowed it down to 10 semifinalists. I was at the semifinals, watched the competition. It was really amazing to see and to hear all of those efforts that have been going on. And tonight, the final 6 will give their pitch up on stage. So we were able to speak to the Rap Foundation's NPO-centric leader who helps to put all of this on, Stephanie Miner. She says tonight, everyone will be a winner.
So everybody here is a winner tonight. They won $1,000 for making it through the training, and then they were awarded another $1,000 for making it through to become a finalist. And then we're giving away prizes: $1,000 for best portfolio, $1,000 for most improved, $5,000 for audience choice, $10,000 for third place, $15,000 for second, and $20,000 for first place.
All right. Are you all ready?
All right, and so we've moved inside of the auditorium now where it's all taking place. Everyone will get on stage in just about 15 minutes. You can see the layout. Our own news director, David Reese, is one of the judges tonight, so they'll be pitching to him and a number of qualified panelists. Also tonight, Elizabeth Smart will be the guest speaker, and we had a chance to speak to her. So coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, we'll hear she has her own nonprofit. You may remember her infamous kidnapping in 2002. Since then, she's gone on to become a commentator for ABC News, run her own nonprofit which supports children who've been victims of sexual assault. So that's coming up at 6, but for now we've got about 300 people who will be here listening to all of these nonprofit pitches. It's going to be a great night, and this is the 11th year. They're already looking forward to year 12. So we'll have more at 6 o'clock. We'll hear from Elizabeth Smart then. Mark, back to you.
Olivia Sandusky live for us in Palm Desert tonight. Liv, thank you so much for that. Turning to some news across the country this evening, as the U.S. government remains shut down with no resolution in sight, the Trump administration has threatened to carry out mass layoffs of federal workers if the stalemate continues. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Wednesday the layoffs to the federal workforce were, quote, imminent. Correspondent Julia Benbrook is at the White House tonight with the very latest.
It's day 2 of this government shutdown, and not much has changed. Republicans are still pushing for essentially an extension of current funding levels for another 7 weeks, and Democrats are looking for concessions on enhanced Obamacare subsidies. When it comes to how this shutdown differs from those in the past, the threat of mass firings looms large. While it's typical to see some government workers furloughed during this time, the White House is threatening a more permanent impact.
We believe that layoffs are imminent.
We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues.
Now, this lines up with President Donald Trump's long-stated goal of shrinking the size of the federal government. And in a post Thursday morning, he made it clear he sees this lapse in funding as an opportunity, writing, quote, "I have a meeting today with Russ Vought of Project 2025 fame to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity." Many Democrats, though, have brushed off this threat, saying that the administration is already taking steps to shrink the size of the federal workforce. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters here at the White House that when it comes to how many federal workers would be impacted if they move forward with layoffs, that number would likely be in the thousands. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
All right, we're giving you a live look tonight from our Indian Wells Golf Resort camera there on this early Friday evening. We got your full 7-day forecast on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. On this Thursday evening, we're giving you a live look right now from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera there in Rancho Mirage. Gorgeous picture. Clear blue skies. Weather, I'd say, is just near perfect. Let's get into the specifics. There's your almanac right there. A high today of 97 degrees. Up one tick from the normal, but nowhere near that record set back in 1980 of 116 degrees. Current weather conditions right now in Palm Springs, it's still pretty warm, 96 degrees. Winds 8 miles an hour out of the northwest. We're going to take a look at the temperatures right now across the region. Big Bear City, 64 degrees, Banning at 80. Indio at 96 and 29 Palms, 91 degrees. As we mentioned, there's a little bit of wind right now in Palm Springs. It gets a little bit heavier as you move towards the west with Cabazon at 18 miles an hour out of the west. Whitewater, similar number right there. Big Bear coming in at 17 miles per hour. There's a look at the lows for tonight. Very comfortable. Palm Springs at 69, Indio at 70, and 29 Palms at 63 degrees. And there's a look at the high temperatures for tomorrow. It's going to be a gorgeous day. And we wanted to show you our Comfort Air 7-day forecast as we head into the end part of the work week. We got our eyes on next Thursday with a chance of showers, but weather's looking perfect up until then. We're going to take a quick break and we're back right after this.
And now, NBC Palm Springs Sports with Caitlin Kelly, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
There's local high school football this evening. Caitlin Kelly joins us live from Coachella Valley High School with the details. Hey, Caitlin.
Hey, Mark, that's right. I'm here at Coachella Valley High School. A little bit different weather than the last time I was here. You may remember it was torrential downpour prior to kickoff last week. Not the case here today. It is gorgeous. And I will also say that the stadium is actually a lot more packed right now than it usually is at this time because tonight is senior night here at Coachella Valley High School. So stands are going to be packed, and it's a good thing, too. Coachella Valley have lost the last 5 of their 6 games. Last week, you may remember the heartbreaking loss against Valley View out of Moreno Valley. The Mighty Arabs were up just until about the last 30 seconds, and then Moreno Valley View came in and scored in the last few moments. So I know CV tonight looking to turn the tide, as this is their last game before league play. They host Desert Mirage, a team that's 3-3 and also coming off of a loss from last week when they traveled up to the high desert and played 29 Palms. So it's going to be an exciting game here tonight. Two teams from Thermal battling it out under the Thursday night lights. We'll have a full recap for you tonight and tomorrow as well, so stay tuned. Until then, I'm Caitlin Kelly live at Coachella Valley High School. We'll see you after the break.
All right, finally tonight, take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow is set to return to PBS after nearly 2 decades. Librarian Michael Threets will be the show's new host. The iconic show originally aired from 1983 to 2006 and encouraged kids to read. Over the years, Reading Rainbow garnered more than 250 awards. An official release date has yet to be announced. All right, that's going to do it for us here at 5 o'clock. We're back at 6 with the latest local headlines.